Keanu Charles Reeves, born September 2, 1964, is a Canadian actor and musician, the recipient of numerous accolades in a career on screen spanning for decades. He is known for his leading roles in action films, his amiable public image, and his philanthropic efforts. In 2020, The New York Times ranked him as the fourth greatest actor of the 21st century, and in 2022, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Born in Beirut, Lebanon, and raised in Toronto, Canada, he made his acting debut in the Canadian television series Hangin in 1984, before making his feature film debut in Youngblood 1986. Reeves had his breakthrough role in the science fiction comedies Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 1989 and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey 1991. He gained praise for playing a hustler in the independent drama My Own Private Idaho 1991, and established himself as an action hero with leading roles in Point Break 1991 and Speed 1994. Following several box office disappointments, Reeves's performance in the horror film The Devil's Advocate 1997 was well received. Greater stardom came with his role as Neo in The Matrix 1999. Reeves became the highest-paid actor for a single production for reprising the role in its 2003 sequels, Reloaded and Revolutions. He also played John Constantine in Constantine 2005. Reeves made his film directorial debut with Man of Tai Chi 2013. Following a period in which he enjoyed limited commercial success, he made a career comeback by playing the titular assassin in the action film series John Wick 2014 present. He voiced Duke Kaboom in Toy Story for 2019 and portrayed Johnny Silverhand in the video game Cyberpunk 2077-2020, as well as its expansion. He has since reprised his roles of Ted in Bill and Ted Face the Music 2020 and Neo in The Matrix Resurrections 2021. And voiced Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 2024. In addition to acting, Reeves is a member of the musical band Dogstar, releasing albums including Somewhere Between the Power Lines and Palm Trees 2023. He is the co-writer and creator of the Berserker franchise, which started with the original comic book 2021 to 2023, and since expanded to include numerous spin-offs, including the Book of Elsewhere. An avid motorcyclist, Reeves is the co-founder of the custom manufacturer Arch Motorcycle. He also co-founded the production company Company Films. 1980 to 1990, early work. In 1984, Reeves was a correspondent for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation CBC youth television program Going Great. That same year, he made his acting debut in an episode of the television series called Hangin in 1985. He played Mercutio in a stage production of Romeo and Juliet at the Leah Poslands Theatre in North York, Ontario. He made further appearances on stage, including Brad Fraser's cult hit Wolf Boy in Toronto. He also appeared in a Coca-Cola commercial in 1983, and in the National Film Board of Canada NFB Coming of Age short film One Step Away. Reeves later said that, when he was looking for work in the mid-1980s, his agents advised him to go by a different name, because his first name was too ethnic. He briefly initialized his first and middle name and attended auditions as Casey, or Casey Reeves, before reverting to Keanu. Reeves made a foray into television films in 1986, including NBC's Babes in Toyland, Act of Vengeance, and Brotherhood of Justice. He made his first motion picture appearances in Peter Markle's Youngblood, 1986, in which he played a goalkeeper, and in the low-budget romantic drama, Flying. He was cast as Matt in River's Edge, a crime drama about a group of high school friends dealing with a murder case, loosely based on the 1981 murder of Marcy Renee Conrad. The film premiered in 1986 at the Toronto International Film Festival, to a largely positive response. Janet Maslin of The New York Times describes the performances of the young cast as natural and credible. with Reeves being described as affecting and sympathetic. Towards the end of the 1980s, Reeves starred in several dramas aimed at teen audiences, including as the lead in The Night Before 1988, a comedy starring opposite Lori Loughlin, The Prince of Pennsylvania 1988, and Permanent Record 1988, although the latter received mixed reviews. Variety magazine praised Reeves's performance, which opens up nicely as the drama progresses. His other acting efforts included a supporting role in Dangerous Liaisons 1988, which earned 7 nominations at the 61st Academy Awards, winning 3: Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Costume Design, and Best Production Design. This was followed by Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989, in which he portrays a slacker who travels through time with a friend, portrayed by Alex Winter, to assemble historical figures for a school presentation. The film was generally well received by critics and grossed $40.5 million at the worldwide box office. Film review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gave the film a 79% approval rating with the critical consensus. Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are just charming, goofy, and silly enough to make this fluffy time travel adventure work. In 1989, Reeves starred in the comedy drama Parenthood directed by Ron Howard. Nick Hilditch of the BBC gave the film 3 out of 5 stars, calling it a feel-good movie with an extensive and entertaining ensemble cast. In 1990, Reeves gave 2 acting performances. He portrayed an incompetent hitman in the black comedy I Love You to Death, and played Martin, a radio station employee in the comedy Tune In Tomorrow. He also appeared in Paula Abdul's music video for Rush Rush, which featured a rebel without a cause motif, with him in the James Dean role. 1991 to 1994, breakthrough with mature roles. In 1991, Reeves starred in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, a sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, with his co-star Alex Winter. Michael Wilmington of the Los Angeles Times wrote that the sequel was more imaginative, more opulent, wilder and freer, more excitingly visualized, praising the actors for their fuller performances. Film critic Roger Ebert thought it was a riot of visual invention and weird humor that works on its chosen submoronic level. It's the kind of movie where you start out snickering in spite of yourself, and end up actually admiring the originality that went into creating this hallucinatory slapstick. The rest of 1991 marked a significant transition for Reeves's career as he undertook adult roles, co-starring with River Phoenix as a street hustler in the adventure My Own Private Idaho. The characters embark on a journey of personal discovery. The story was written by Gus Van Sant and is loosely based on Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 1, Henry IV, Part 2, and Henry V. The film premiered at the 48th Venice International Film Festival, 43, followed by a theatrical release in the United States on September 29, 1991. The film earned $6.4 million at the box office. My Own Private Idaho was positively received, with Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly describing the film as a postmodern road movie with a mood of free-floating, trance-like despair, a rich, audacious experience. The New York Times complimented Reeves and Phoenix for their insightful performances. Reeves starred alongside Patrick Swayze, Lori Petty, and Gary Busey in the action thriller Point Break 1991, directed by Kathryn Bigelow. He plays an undercover FBI agent, tasked with investigating the identities of a group of bank robbers. To prepare for the film, Reeves and his co-stars took surfing lessons with professional surfer Dennis Jarvis in Hawaii. Reeves had never surfed before. 47 upon its release, Point Break was generally well received and a commercial success, earning $83.5 million at the box office. Reeves's performance was praised by the New York Times for considerable discipline and range, adding, "He moves easily between the button-down demeanor that suits a police procedural story and the loose-jointed manner of his comic roles." Writing for the Washington Post, Hal Hinson called Reeves the perfect choice and praised the surfing scenes, but opined that the filmmakers have their characters make the most ludicrously illogical choices imaginable. At the 1992 MTV Movie Awards, Reeves won the Most Desirable Male award. In 1991, Reeves developed an interest in a music career. He formed an alternative rock band called Dogstar, consisting of members Robert Mailhouse, Greg Miller and Brett Domrose. Reeves played the bass guitar. A year later, he played Jonathan Harker in Francis Ford Coppola's gothic horror Bram Stoker's Dracula, based on Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula, starring alongside Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder and Anthony Hopkins. The film was critically and commercially successful. It grossed $215.8 million worldwide. For his role, Reeves was required to speak with an English accent, which drew some ridicule. Overly posh and entirely ridiculous. Reeves's performance is as painful as it is hilarious, wrote Lee Marsalt of Virgin Media. Above 50 miles per hour, Speed was the directorial debut of Dutch director Jan de Bont. Several actors were considered for the lead role, but Reeves was chosen because Bont was impressed with his point-break performance. To look the part, Reeves shaved all his hair off and spent 2 months in the gym to gain muscle mass. During production, Reeves's friend River Phoenix and co-star in My Own Private Idaho died, resulting in adjustments to the filming schedule to allow him to mourn. Speed was released on June 10th, to a critically acclaimed response. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune lauded Reeves, calling him absolutely charismatic, giving a performance juiced with joy as he jumps through elevator shafts and atop a subway train. David Anson, writing for Newsweek, summarized Speed as relentless without being overbearing. This is one likely blockbuster that doesn't feel too big for its britches. It's a friendly juggernaut. The film grossed $350 million from a $30 million budget and won 2 Academy Awards in 1995. Best Sound Editing and Best Sound, 1,995 1,998, Career Fluctuations. Reeves's next leading role came in the 1995 cyberpunk action thriller Johnny Mnemonic, directed by artist Robert Longo, and based on the 1981 story of the same name by William Gibson, set in 2021. It is about a man who has a cybernetic brain implant and must deliver a data package before he dies or is killed by the Yakuza. The film received mainly negative reviews and critics felt Reeves was woefully miscast. Roger Ebert opined that the film is one of the great goofy gestures of recent cinema. A movie that doesn't deserve 1 nanosecond of serious analysis, but has a kind of idiotic grandeur that makes you almost forgive it. As part of the film studio's marketing efforts, a CD-ROM video game was also released. He next appeared in the romantic drama Walk in the Clouds, 1995, which also garnered mixed to negative reviews. Reeves plays a young soldier returning home from World War II, trying to settle down with a woman he married impulsively just before he enlisted. Film critic Nick LaSalle opined that A Walk in the Clouds is for the most part a beautiful, well-acted and emotionally rich picture, whereas Hal Hinson from the Washington Post said, the film has the syrupy, Kodak magic moment look of a Bo Derek movie, and pretty much the same level of substance. Besides film work, Reeves retreated briefly to the theater playing Prince Hamlet in a 1995 Manitoba Theatre Center production of Hamlet in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The Sunday Times critic Roger Lewis believed his performance, writing he quite embodied the innocence, the splendid fury, the animal grace of the leaps and bounds, the emotional violence that form the Prince of Denmark. He is one of the top 3 Hamlets I have seen, for a simple reason: he is Hamlet. Reeves was soon drawn to science fiction roles, appearing in Chain Reaction 1996, with co-stars Morgan Freeman, Rachel Weisz, Fred Ward, Kevin Dunn and Brian Cox. He plays a researcher of a green energy project who has to go on the run when he is framed for murder. Chain Reaction was not a critical success and gained mostly a negative reaction. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gave it a rating of 16% and described it as a man-on-the-run thriller that mostly sticks to generic formula. Reeves's film choices after Chain Reaction were also critical disappointments. He starred in the independent crime comedy Feeling Minnesota 1996 with Vincent D'Onofrio and Cameron Diaz, which was described as shoddily assembled and fundamentally miscast by Rotten Tomatoes. In that year, he turned down an offer to star in Speed 2: Cruise Control, despite being offered a salary of $12 million. According to Reeves, this decision caused 20th Century Fox to sever ties with him for a decade. Instead, Reeves toured with his band Dogstar and appeared in the drama The Last Time I Committed Suicide, 1997, based on a 1950 letter written by Neil Cassidy to Jack Kerouac. Reeves's performance gained mixed reviews. Paul Tatara of CNN called him void of talent. Here he is again, reciting his lines as if they're non-related words, strung together as a memory exercise. Whereas Empire magazine thought, Reeves gives the nearest thing to a performance. In his career as the enthusiastic feckless drunk, he starred in the 1997 supernatural horror The Devil's Advocate alongside Al Pacino and Charlize Theron. Reeves agreed to a pay cut of several $1 million so that the film studio could afford to hire Pacino. Based on Andrew Niderman's novel of the same name, the feature is about a successful young lawyer invited to New York City to work for a major firm. He discovers the owner of the firm is a devil. The Devil's Advocate attracted positive reviews from critics. Film critic James Berardinelli called the film highly enjoyable and wrote, "There are times when Reeves lacks the subtlety that would have made this a more multi-layered portrayal, but it's nevertheless a solid job." 1999-2004 resurgence with the Matrix franchise and comedies. In 1999, Reeves starred in the critically acclaimed science fiction film The Matrix, the first installment in what would become the Matrix franchise. 87. Reeves portrays computer programmer Thomas Anderson, a hacker using the alias Neo, who discovers humanity is trapped inside a simulated reality created by intelligent machines. To prepare for the film, which was written and directed by the Wachowskis, Reeves had read Kevin Kelly's Out of Control, The New Biology of Machines, Social Systems, and the Economic World, and Dylan Evans's ideas on evolutionary psychology. The principal cast underwent months of intense training with martial arts choreographer Yuan Wuping. To prepare for the fight scenes, The Matrix proved to be a box office success. Several critics considered it to be one of the best science fiction films of all time. Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times felt it was a wildly cinematic futuristic thriller that is determined to overpower the imagination, despite perceiving weaknesses in the film's dialogue. Janet Maslin of the New York Times credited Reeves for being a strikingly chic Prada model of an action hero, and thought the martial arts stunts were the film's strongest feature. The Matrix received Academy Awards for Best Film Editing, Best Sound Editing, Best Visual Effects, and Best Sound. After the success of The Matrix, Reeves avoided another blockbuster in favor of a light-hearted sports comedy, The Replacements 2000. He agreed to a pay cut to enable Gene Hackman to co-star in the film. Against his wishes, Reeves starred in the thriller The Watcher 2000, playing a serial killer who stalks a retired FBI agent. He said that a friend forged his signature on a contract, which he could not prove. He appeared in the film to avoid legal action. Upon its release, the film was critically panned. That year, he had a supporting role in another thriller, Sam Raimi's The Gift, a story about a woman played by Cate Blanchett, with extrasensory perception asked to help find a young woman who disappeared. The film grossed $44 million worldwide. Film critic Paul Clinton of CNN thought the film was fairly compelling, saying of Reeves's acting, "Raimi managed to get a performance out of Reeves that only occasionally sounds like he's reading his lines from the back of a cereal box." In 2001, Reeves continued to explore and accept roles in a diverse range of genres. The first was a romantic drama, Sweet November, a remake of the 1968 film of the same name. This was his second collaboration with Charlize Theron. The film was met with a generally negative reception. 98. Desson Thompson of The Washington Post criticized it for its syrupy cliches, greeting card wisdom, and over-the-top tragicomedy, but commended Reeves for his likability factor in every performance. He gives Hardball 201 marked Reeves's attempt in another sports comedy, directed by Brian Robbins. It is based on the book Hardball, a season in the projects by Daniel Coyle. Reeves plays Connor O'Neill, a troubled young man who agrees to coach a Little League team from the Cabrini Green housing project in Chicago as a condition of obtaining a loan. Film critic Roger Ebert noted the film's desire to tackle difficult subjects and baseball coaching, but felt it lacked depth, and Reeves's performance was glum and distant. By 2002, his professional music career had come to an end when Dogstar disbanded. The band had released 2 albums during their decade together, Our Little Visionary in 1996 and Happy, ending in 2000. Sometime afterwards, Reeves performed in the band Becky for a year, founded by Dogstar bandmate Rob Mailhouse, but quit in 2005, citing a lack of interest in a serious music career. After being absent from the screen in 2002, Reeves returned to the Matrix sequels in 2003 with The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, released in May and November, respectively. Principal photography for both films was completed back-to-back, primarily at Fox Studios in Australia. The Matrix Reloaded garnered mostly favorable reviews. John Powers of LA Weekly praised the dazzling pyrotechnics, but was critical of certain machine-like action scenes. Of Reeves's acting, Powers thought it was somewhat wooden, but felt he has the ability to exude a charmed aura. Andrew Walker, writing for the Evening Standard, praised the cinematography. Visually it gives full value as a virtuoso workout for your senses, but he was less taken by the film's dime store philosophy. The film grossed $739 million worldwide. Upcoming projects. Reeves will star alongside Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari in the latter's directorial debut, Good Fortune. He will then star in Jonah Hill's upcoming black comedy film, Outcome, on Apple TV+, 230-231, in the 2025 series spin-off film from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Reeves is set to reprise his role as the franchise's titular character. Reeves is set to star in Ruben Östlund's satire film The Entertainment System Is Down. Reeves will co-produce a documentary film about the life of Benny Urquidez, set for release in 2025. Reeves will make his Broadway debut in the fall of 2025, in a production of Waiting for Godot directed by Jamie Lloyd, a film adaptation of BRZRKR written by Mattson Tomlin and produced by and starring Reeves is being developed for Netflix, with Reeves open to the possibility of directing. After the release of the film, a 2-season anime series also planned for release on Netflix and produced by Production IG is planned to follow. Fifth sequel to John Wick was planned by distributor Lionsgate, but franchise director Chad Stahelski had said he would like to give the franchise a rest for the time being. Besides plans for a 5th film, a sequel television series titled John Wick Under the High Table is being developed with Reeves attached as an executive producer.